Hi. I wanted to come on today and just say a few things um, to you about being kind. Um, it's kind of one of those things that a lot of people look at me, and I've had so many comments from people that say, how can you stay so positive? Or how can you always be so upbeat? And most of you don't even know my story at all. Some of you do. Um, but life has not always been rainbows and unicorns and cherries. I'm living a pretty good life right now. I'm very happy now. And I think I'm in a good place mentally and getting there physically. But when I joined direct sales many years ago for the first time, because I have been with another company before, it didn't take me long before I caught on to this idea. And it's been a lifelong lesson for me. It's not just about business. And to be really honest, when I joined Cincy, I was not planning on going full force with it. It was not something that I went, okay, let's do this again, right? Let's go to the top of the compensation plan and let's just really go gung-ho. No, I joined because I wanted to be able to buy my own waxes and warmers for the holidays, but I knew that probably there were people out there that didn't have a candle person or a Scentsy lady, and I thought that I could offer that. So I thought I'll just do it basically for fun. So like most people that we know, they do direct sales just as a hobby, right? Well, the word hobby, when you think about it, hobby actually means it's something that you do for fun, right? Even if you have the intention of seeing how far it'll go or watching to see what happens, you're still telling yourself that it's just for fun. It's a hobby. I do it because it makes me happy. It brings me joy. Maybe it gets me talking to people. I like the little bit of extra money, or I like to get my products. You don't really get them at a discount. You pay full price, and then the following month you get a paycheck, right? Or you have that money deposited into your account. So you get paid back on what you buy. So making it a hobby basically does mean that you're probably selling under $200 a month, whether that's zero a lot of months or whether it is just the $200, every month. And that's not really a whole ton of product, right? I mean, you could sell 2-3 warmers and make, have $200 in PRV. So I think it's important that, too, we understand that we're dealing with social media now. So what has happened in the past since Tuesday when Cincy announced all the changes that they were going to make, and I'm not going to spend tonight going over those changes. If you guys have any questions, please reach out to me. You could have watched Dan Orchard last night. He explained and broke everything down, and they're going to have the replay hopefully on Monday or early next week, so everybody has access to that. And by the way, the reason it's not available immediately is because Cincy is required, because we have businesses in other countries. People speak different languages, and they do have to translate those transcripts into all the different languages, and they can't release it to anybody until they do that, so everybody is on a fair playing field. So that will be released next week. So there was a reason for them waiting on that. They're not waiting. They just have to get it all translated. But social media, when we're dealing with social media, I don't like to use the cliche terms and things like keyboard warrior, things like that, because I think it's labeling people. And I think because social media still is rather new, right? We're figuring out how to do our business online. We're figuring out how to talk to other people, not face to face, behind our computers, not looking at people and having a real true conversation with them. So it's really easy And our political climate, I think, plays into a lot of it. And people are angry, upset, hurt, whatever is going on with them. So there are all these feelings. Or maybe your Scentsy business has not been going as well as you would like it to go. Personally, I have not had the best past year. I thought that I would be leaps and bounds ahead of where I was in the year prior. And so things have slowed down, but I understand business. I understand that we have ebbs and flows. And even though I consider myself a newer consultant, I've earned the past 2 incentives. I have done really big things with my business. I've had some really, really hugely successful, just making sure that this is still going, fundraisers and things like that. So, I really do get and understand that there are ebbs and flows. And we just recently, here in the past couple of weeks, heard about big box businesses that are really slowing down, closing some of their stores. Some stores actually went under. Macy's has shut down a bunch of their stores. Kohl's, I know, is another one. Big Lots is out of business. We're affected by social media, and a lot of this has to do with places like Amazon and where you can buy on TikTok. Well, we don't know what's going to happen with that, right? But there's Temu, and there is Shein, and there's just all these different ways, especially Amazon, right? Anything that you want is at your fingertips, and you can just find it on Amazon. So people are shopping more online, and even more online since 2020, right? So we live in a different culture now that people don't see each other face to face. So it's really easy to hop on social media and to just say everything that's on your mind. If you had a job and you were upset about the changes that they made, usually you would talk to your manager and go behind closed doors and have a conversation, and you could air everything out. Right? But we're in direct sales, so it's a little bit different. And a lot of people are not close with their sponsors or upline. And we have social media. So if you have gone on to some of the Facebook pages lately for Scentsy, there's been a lot of negativity. And I have just kind of been reading and not really commenting a whole lot. I automatically try to put a good spin on any changes because I know that I'm not the one running the show, right? I am a consultant, a representative of Scentsy, but I am not Scentsy. So I do have my own business. I work from home. I work my own hours. I run the business, according to how much effort I want to put in. But Scentsy actually, it comes from them. They make the rules. They pay all the behind the scenes money. They have their own employees, the people that run the company, that do the shipping, they do the products, they do, everything. I don't have to do that. And that's the beauty of a not multi-level marketing, but direct sales and Scentsy company specifically. And Scentsy is not a publicly traded company. And the last company that I worked for was publicly traded. And I had mentioned it on one of the posts in our group that today, that when you're publicly traded, you have investors, you have, people that are running the show. It's not the consultants that are running the show. They may be able to give feedback and stuff, but the final say is them. That's it, period. There's you can go and vent all day long. It's not going to make a bit of difference, right? It's just it. And there were ebbs and flows with that. They made changes every single year. And most of the time it didn't feel like it benefited me. But I came to understand that it's a business and it's not my own business. I don't have to worry about the overhead. I don't have to worry about the whole budget for, incentives that they're running or national conventions and all of that. I don't have to worry about that. I don't have to worry about training. I do train, but the company has their own set of rules, and I just kind of follow those, and they are loose. It's a lot different than working a 9 to 5, right? Going into a job and getting paid hourly or on salary for what you're doing. It gives you much more freedom. It's a really, really great business to be able to run if you're retired or if you have small children. There's so many different scenarios where you can do it around your schedules and the rest of your family or the other things that you're taking part in. It's fantastic for that. However, the business has to be able to sustain itself. And the trajectory of Scentsy has been going downhill for a while now. And like Dan said yesterday, the trajectory, if we did not do anything about it and we don't change anything at all, the business is going to disappear. That is basically what he told us. And they have to look at the trends. There is no way around it. So, speaking to the hobbyists that are having such a problem with all of the changes, I think it's a good idea. My suggestion is to basically break down everything. So that's kind of what I did yesterday. I broke it all down because, again, I'm not thrilled about these changes. I'm not happy about them. There's a couple that I think are very questionable. In our group, I had posted another Scentsy consultant, Robin, had been so gracious and wonderful and shared on YouTube a video. She broke everything down, all of the changes. She even gave her opinion on some things. And I had already formed my opinion before I watched it. But the biggest thing for her, basically, was the change for once you hit certified consultant. So after that, and the way that we had been using verbiage from Scentsy, from our upline, what I have been taught since the beginning, from everything that I had watched online trainings, people are telling, when they're talking to people about joining the company, we were telling them, okay, once you hit $1,000 in your business in sales, you get a permanent raise of 25% on everything that you sell. Okay, fine. And yes, it does, in my OCD brain, which I'm not really OCD, but we all are kind of about certain things. And that verbiage and the fact that we were telling people that, and since he has now taken that away, it is frustrating to me because I did tell people, once you hit that $1,000, it's a permanent raise for you. Well, honestly, it doesn't change that much. And again, I know when it's stuck in your brain that it's hard to shake it, but honestly, it really isn't a huge change. So you have to throw in the fact that to be active in a month now, it's going from $200 to $250, right? So now we have to sell $250 or more to make that 25%. So I was kind of looking at numbers this morning, and I looked at $249. At that, if you have PRV in that amount in 1 month, starting in March, you are going to make, I think it was, the difference between $249 and $250 is like $12, or maybe it was $12.50, something like that. That's not a whole lot of money in the scheme of things. And again, I know a lot of people say even $3.50 is a lot of money. For some people, it's a loaf of bread. It's a meal for a family. I definitely get that. But if you're a hobbyist, really, you're just doing it for fun. So you're not, you want to get a good deal, right? You want to get the best sale. And I'm sad when Cole does away with something that's on sale because there's a whole line. I think it's Lauren Conrad. I love her line at Kohl's, but when it's not on sale, which is most of the time, I'm pretty upset because I'd like to go in there one time and be able to get a blouse that I love with poofy sleeves or whatever on sale. So then when I see it on sale, I want to buy all the things, right? And then 2 weeks later, I'm like, I'm going to go back and get some more because I saw that. Now I want to get that other shirt and I just got paid. And then I go back and it's not on sale, right? So that's kind of the mentality here, right? We're upset if we're a hobbyist, and usually if you're not selling $200 or more, you're basically considered a hobbyist, unless you really are every single month working your business. Now it is, I'm sorry, and this is my opinion, and you can argue with me, and I understand it. I'm not trying to be argumentative, but in my pea brain, if you are only selling $200 once a year or even $200 a month, that's not a lot of Scentsy. You're not really if you want to work your business and make good money, you're always striving to make more, and you're doing the things, right? You're trying everything. You're attempting to do this and you're attempting to do that. And you're trying events and you are talking to people about partying and you are, you're doing fundraising. You are trying to come up with ways. You're talking to your neighbors. You're putting out flyers. You're making samples and you're doing VIP mail every month. You're doing these things. And yes, it may take you a while from when you first start, but if you're doing this every month, I can almost guarantee you're going to be selling more than $250 in 1 month if you're working your business. I think a lot of the people that have the big problems with Scentsy, and they're talking bad about Heidi and Orville, they're criticizing them for their mission where they were away for 3 years. They're criticizing their character. They're criticizing all these superstar directors and directors and people that do really well with Scentsy, saying that, they have it easy or they have a leg up. It's upsetting to me. That's upsetting to me because that's where the negativity comes in. It's different if you have a problem with them changing things and you don't like that. But when you start bringing other people and comparing, and that is where most of the negativity and the awful stuff has come from on social media the past 4 days, is the attacking. People are saying, well, we should be able to say whatever we want. No, the heck not. If you're comparing yourself to successful people and saying, why should they get the trips? Why should they be able to earn this? Why should, they've been around since the beginning of the company. Yeah, they're out busting their booties. It's a given. They are working hard. I don't bring in a huge income with my business yet because I understand it takes time to build a business. You have to work it consistently. You have to try everything in your power, but you have to enjoy what you're doing. If you're upset in your life and you're going on social media and then you hear that Scentsy has done away with stuff and you're already mad because you're not getting sales, because you're not working, because you're not trying, because you are, but the company is so awful. I'm sorry, but it just doesn't work that way. And I'm not here to judge anybody. What I'm trying to say is that we've got to get rid of that negativity. Toxic positivity is not my thing. I hope you guys have figured that out by now. That is not me. Do I try to look at the bright side about things? I do. That doesn't mean I feel positive about it. That does not mean I need to vent, but I don't go on social media and vent. I talk to Charlotte. I talk to my daughters. I have 2 daughters that I talk to on a very regular basis. I talk to them about it. Charlotte and I hash things out all the time, and she is very good about playing devil's advocate. And I love that about her. So, and I'm not afraid to have a discussion about something that I don't necessarily agree with. And hopefully you guys saw the post between Tammy and I today, because I was not trying to call her out on anything either. I just had read so much on social media. I did not go down the rabbit hole with it, to be very honest. I deliberately said, this is not going to bring me down, but I do kind of want to have that perspective. I'm on the director's page. There are people talking about it on the director's page as well. In a much, there are a lot of people on there that aren't currently directors like myself, but they let us stay in the group. Scentsy sees all of that. Like I tell you guys, when I bring you information from the director's page, Scentsy is absolutely monitoring that group. They're the ones that set up that group for directors and above. So they are seeing everybody's complaints. And the thing about Scentsy, and Chuck Thompson has been pretty clear about this, a lot of times if you have a complaint with Scentsy and you send them an email and explain, be respectful and explain yourself and explain why it bothers you, that is a way to be heard. Going on social media and complaining and moaning and groaning and buying into the negativity gets you nowhere. It's not helpful. It's not good for your brain. Yeah, that's why I said I had to not go down the rabbit hole and read everybody's comments, because it was like all surface stuff. It was like Tammy and I were talking about today. I got the last 2 incentives, and I worked really, really hard to get in on those incentives. I'm not a top player in Scentsy. I'm nowhere near a top player, but in my last company, I earned incentives there, and I use it as a catalyst to grow my business. That's what I did back then, and that's what I decided to do here. It's not about the trip. I'm not going to Greece this year, and I'm absolutely fine with it. Would I love to go? Sure. But it just wasn't my year for that. I focused on different things. In the month of January, I'm switching everything up, and I'm going to focus on different things this year. I know a couple of weeks ago, I got a little bit upset on a live with my team, and I was like, this is a waste of time. This is a waste of time. If you guys here in the group do not wish to participate, you do not wish to be updated on everything Scentsy, that's totally up to you. So the things that I do, I have to keep doing them. Not the same way. I am switching it up. As you guys have seen, I'm not live right now on our page. And as a matter of fact, I have to get off of here because I got to go live in the VIP group now. But I just wanted to come on and really kind of give a little bit of insight as to the negativity. Don't go to the Whiff Box Spoiler group and read their stuff. Now that I've said it, you'll probably go in and look at it. Because you read one thing and you go, oh, that's right. Oh, I do feel that way. And then you're down the rabbit hole and you're feeling negative, when really you can come to me and talk. You can come in our team page. I'm happy to have a conversation with you. Like I said, I don't expect to turn you around on how you feel, but I can definitely give you context. I did listen to Dan Orchard last night. He was on for an hour and a half and gave really good information. I didn't like everything that he said. That doesn't mean I'm angry and I'm going to quit Scentsy. I don't think that the company is going to put things in place so they're making more money and just shutting everybody out the window. It would never sustain that way. So all these people that are upset, if they would take some time to really understand the reasoning, and if you understand a business model, you do understand how things work. And this is very, very normal with any business, that they have to make changes year over year. It's a fact. Sometimes they benefit us. Sometimes they make us get a little bit irritated, and it's, and then we pivot and we figure it out. Be mad, talk to your significant other, but I don't suggest going on social media and, talking down about the company or about anybody else, right? I mean, we have to do unto others as we want done unto us. And I'm not super religious, but that is the truth. It's the golden rule. My Rowan, my granddaughter, she's 6. That is something that she told me when I was there this time. And I heard her saying it on the phone the other day when I was talking to my daughter, Maddie. You got to do, the way that you treat people is how you want them to treat you as well. And that applies to all of us. So you guys, I hope you have a wonderful weekend. I will upload this after I go on my VIP page. I love you guys. Please reach out if you have any questions, and I will talk to you very soon. Bye-bye.